Huh?
What up, cuzzo?
What up, cuzzo?
Oh man, somebody turn my stuff down, man. Hey,
It's
messing
because
up
you weren't
the
talking about nothing. They said, let me turn this down. They ain't talking about nothing.
yeah,
Yeah.
man. Hey, how you feel, man?
I'm good, man. All is well, man. Another week in the books. Still going. You know, how you feeling?
Oh man, darn near perfect.
Sounds good, man. Let me get some of whatever you're drinking now.
Hey man, you didn't have some of it before, man. That dark. No, I'm just playing. Man, today we had a short week, but that didn't hold back on the busyness of the week. It was very eventful, I could say the least.
Short weeks never feel short. Even though you have an extra day off, it always still feels like a full week to me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, yeah,
I
definitely.
think I think because we are putting in work in those 4 days, what you would put normally in five, I guess maybe. I'm just guessing.
Yeah, pretty much. You got to make up for some of the stuff that didn't get done on Monday or whatever day
Right.
that you have off. So yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
I was definitely grateful for that extra day because I got to spend a little more time with the family. That's always the good part of it.
Indeed. Yep. No doubt. Same thing here. Being able to have that extra day just to do some things that you need to do what you want to do. Especially for me, I go 6 days a week most of the time. So that extra day for me, definitely helps out, miraculously, you know, unequivocally.
I feel you, man. I do not like this camera view right here, man. It's ugly. It's like getting the top of my head.
It's definitely not your good side. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
And I got a bad side. Dang, that's ice cold, man.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm
Let me
pretty
see.
sure you would like a different angle.
Let's see. Let's see what I could do. Come on. Come on, fix it for your boy.
Big money, big money, big money.
Jesus will fix it. Uh,
They fixed it all right. Just turn it off.
dang. Let's see.
Dang.
Dang, ice cold, man.
Man, I'm telling you, Mr. Freeze.
Oh, that's big freeze out right there. That they did me dirty.
I said, okay, you don't like what we gave you? We'll turn it off.
Cold as ice. Anyway, I'm gonna talk anyway, so I'm gonna put the spotlight on you. There you go.
Man, let your voice be heard, man. I don't let nobody hold you down.
There you go, man. Tell us what. Let's see. Dang. Uh, man. So anyway, I know I'm not visible right now to you guys, but man, we want to thank everyone, our future viewers. Man, we are just two regular dudes out here, you know, talking about regular stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell you guys what's going on in these streets. As we get clarity, we want to give you guys the opportunity to, take a different look at things than what the general media is trying to tell you, because they will tell you anything they want to tell you.
For sure.
Not be true. So you want to share anything with the Scuzzo before we get into it?
Oh man, every day, things happen. So I just tell people to continue to, you know, look for opportunities to learn, not be biased because you don't agree with an individual, but kind of seek to understand, why things are happening the way that they're happening. Doesn't matter who it is, doesn't matter what size it is, but you know, is it allowing your life to be better, become better? Because if it's not, then there's no need for you to be loyal. You know, gone are the days of working, and being loyal to one place for 40 years and then you get a retirement. A lot of that's been over some time. So you know, I mean, if it ain't working, man, let's see what we can do to fix it. And having these conversations and coming together to shed light on different topics is, how we start to train, and open the mind to, ways we can do that. So, you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
So what we got? What we got?
Man, we got me with no video.
No video, no audio either?
Yeah, you could hear me. You can hear me.
Okay.
Yeah, you could hear me, but you can't see me.
All right. Well,
I'm gonna hop out real quick. Let's see.
I guess I'll be lead singer for now. Don't worry about it. I'll bring you along. So it seems that, my co-host has left and he's gonna come back in, momentarily. But, how's everybody doing out there? Hope everybody's having a great day, having an amazing week. As I said before, a lot of things are continuing to happen, and you know, some things you may like, most things you may not like. But at the end of the day, oh, there he is, my man. Look at him. Got the presidential angle. Look at him. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to leave you alone too long. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I was about to figure out some type of monologue to go on. Gotta.
Man, I heard you going to your bag when I was hopping off. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I hear him. So, man, kind of like what you said, man, things have happened.
And always things will continue to happen every day.
Man, so we got Mayor Karen Bass trying to shift responsibility or accountability, I should say, from herself to others. We're gonna talk about that. Then we got, Governor of Maine. I don't know if she lost her mind or what, but we're gonna talk about that too.
Okay.
And then we got young lady. I don't know her social media handle. We'll see if we could find it because we want to give her her flowers for her, sharing with us. But anyway, she's sharing with us about her viewpoint on the mindset of people after this election and this finally month of President Trump's presidency. It's crazy how people expected him to turn things around in less than 30 days. It's crazy.
Right.
But anyway,
Right.
let's talk about it. So let's see. Let me pull up the first clip. Actually, you know what? If we play audio, let's see. Because my freaking we want to go to Maine first.
Yeah, let's go to Maine. I've never been to Maine before.
Me neither. You know what? I almost had some Maine lobster, but I forgot. Yeah, but unfortunately, I decided to go with something else instead. But I hear a lot out there.
Yeah, that's what I hear. So let's see what they got going.
All right, let's see. Give me like 2 seconds here. All right, Let's see. Somebody smashing out. Get up out of here. All right, let's see.
But I understand Maine. Is Maine here, the governor of Maine? Well, are you not going to comply with it? Well, we are the federal law. Well, you better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding. Every state, good. I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one.
Yeah.
And enjoy your life after governor because I don't think you'll be in elected politics. Every state has a responsibility to comply with Title IX. They have an obligation, a legal obligation, and we'll be enforcing aggressively. And we're going to be protecting our citizens. We're going to protect. But I understand.
Yo,
Hmm.
tell me what you think about it, man.
I mean, it's like, time is out. Playtime's over. Like my man Shona back in The Last Dragon. It's playtime's over. You know. So it's time to get into right. So it's time to get into some real, politics and civic duties in terms of your local politicians, your governors, your mayors, your local, municipalities. It's time to, put their feet to the fire and make them do the job that they're supposed to be doing and not the job that they think they're supposed to be doing. Yeah, everyone has an agenda, so if their agenda is outside of what's best for the American people based on what they are asking for or telling you what they need, then you got to really kind of take a look at, what's the reasoning behind it, where's the funding coming from, who the donors are, you got to start looking at those things so you can kind of peel back the layers in terms of to see, who's really pulling the strings because that individual is working against you. They're not working for you, they're working against you. So, in watching that clip there, it just lets me know that, the president is looking to, make people perform their civic duties, and based on, what the American people want, this is what they want. And based on this title or this law, this is what you're going to be required to do because it's the law, and if we got to go to court, we'll go to court and it'll be open and closed case because the rules are there and the rules are in black and white. It's plain for you to see. So for whatever reason, if you're not following that, then we'll figure out why. And then your people won't be very happy because you're going to get funding to do things that they need, for their city, quarterly, yearly, whatever the cost may be.
Yeah, man. We got feedback. Mute yourself up, man. I'll mute myself as well. But yeah, so man, I agree. It's like we elect these people, or they're elected. We may or may not have necessarily voted for them, but we, the people who take part in their, civic duty to actually vote officials in, we vote for them, and they are just shooting from the hip sometimes. Like we didn't ask you to, reject or not to comply with what the president said. That's not something that we said. Now if it goes against something we voted for, then I get that. But for the topic that at hand that he spoke to, having, men in, biological men and women's sports, that's not something that I remember them putting on my ballot. I mean, they could have, they probably have, you know what I'm saying? But it was voted not to, to return, to overturn that, right? So now you have one person who's going to be rogue or multiple people that are going to be rogue and not do it. People don't want that. I have a daughter. I have 2 daughters. You know, I don't want to see them competing against, biological men. It's not fair. You know, and actually earlier in that clip, he was talking about the boxer. I don't know if you recall that, but there was a boxer in the Olympics that was fighting against another woman, a biological woman, and he hit her. And then her corner tried to get her to go back out there. She went back out there and she got hit again. And and she was like, "Nah, I'm not going back out there." Like that type of stuff is not fair, and I don't think it's fair at all because you have biological men who are probably terrible, you know, against biological men in whatever sport it is, and then they go to, a sport that's, mainly biological women, they just dominate. You know what I mean? It's not fair. People could get hurt. Other things could happen, and it's confusing to, some people as well. It's confusing to kids. Kids don't know what's going on, and this is another one of those things that they put in children's faces and confuse kids and don't allow children to be children, because then they start asking questions that I have to answer, that I don't necessarily want to answer when the kid is at 4 or 5, 6 years old. I don't know. Definitely they have an agenda. I don't know why it is that they decide they want to impose their agenda on everybody, on people that voted for them, without getting the people's go ahead. I don't understand it, and it's time out for it, and we'll see. Like you said, it's in black and white. And Trump said it himself. Hey, it should be an easy one. And maybe this is your last hurrah. Maybe that you're not gonna have a future in this anyway. But go ahead and take me to court. If you want to. This will be the last time that you'll see this seat that you're in. People, continue to get stuff confused, man. Like, you're not a lone wolf. You're not. They try to call Trump a dictator. You're being a dictator. You're dictating things, that your people, I'm sure, they don't want. And it's bad. And people have already spoken. They spoke, in November. But some of these other states that are liberal states, like even California, even though California was mainly liberal, like if you looked at that map there was a lot of red on that map, more red than people have seen in a while. So keep playing with people, keep playing in people's face, and I heard a lot of people saying this, but you may not see, somebody, a Democrat sitting in that seat for a long time, because people are tired of this. People are starting to open up their eyes. You can't play games with people anymore. People are, I mean, there's still some people out there that need to, come to themselves, if I could put it that way. Excuse me. But, a lot of people are starting to open up their eyes. A lot of people are free thinkers. They don't just go with the status quo. They're just not with the get along gang, as some people call it. They want to see change. They want to vote for things that, will help them, out in life, not, that all this crazy stuff that's been going on, all these different agendas that you're pushing that is not relevant to anybody. So I don't talk too much, but yeah, man, like that. Apparently got a lot to say about that, but yeah, it's crazy. How, and I don't know, she doesn't look happy at all. She looked a little upset. Look at her. She was looking a little frustrated. Let's see, look at her face down there. She got the high turtleneck on. She frowned up. You know what I'm saying? Trump said it like it was. Like, hey, we ain't playing no games with you, lady. We ain't got time for that. But it is what it is. You have anything else on that, Cuzzo?
No, you said it all, man. My last point is, man, is just, after a while, man, allowance run out. So you only get so much allowance. And once your allowance run out, man, hey, it's going to get real slim. So that's it. What we got next?
We gonna go ahead, since we talking about female politicians, and nothing against them, shout out to them. We gonna go over to Karen Bass. As we know, there was a fire here, and Karen Bass, Gavin Newsom, they're taking a lot of heat, for not being proactive.
No pun intended.
For sure, no pun intended. They're definitely taking a lot of heat for not, being ready when the fires happen, right? So Karen Bass did like one of her first interviews, and we'll go to play it right here. Let's see. It's pretty long. It's like 3 minutes, so we'll see what happens.
Sit-down TV interview since the Palisades fire began, and opens up about traveling on a diplomatic mission to Ghana with dangerous winds in LA's forecast.
When I say it was a mistake, absolutely. The idea that I was not present was very painful.
We know that there was warnings about the weather before you went, and you still went. What was the thought process behind going to Ghana?
When the White House called and asked me if I would represent the president, I said yes. It was going to be a very, very short trip, over a weekend and 2 business days.
The mayor says LA Fire Chief Kristen Crowley did not call her to warn her in advance of the trip, and didn't do the, quote, normal preparations for this kind of wind event.
That type of preparation didn't happen. If that had, I will tell you, Alex, I wouldn't have even gone to San Diego, let alone leave the country.
But what do you mean there were warnings you weren't aware of? Because I know we were talking about it on the news. A lot of people were talking about the problems, warning that this was going to be a huge.
So it didn't reach that level to me to say something terrible could happen and maybe you shouldn't have gone on the trip.
Why didn't it
But to
happen?
me, I don't know. I mean, I think that that's one of the things we need to look at.
There are now 2
All right. So that that first part, some issues there, man. Like, how is it that the news was reporting on this? He just said it. He just told you right there. How is it the news was reporting on the warnings and potential, issues that could happen, but you didn't hear about it? And he asked you, how is it, she said the fire chief didn't tell her anything. Like, why are you, it's like she's trying to divert blame, and it sounds like she's disconnected from what her job is. She's disconnected from her people, because like I said, the news stations are reporting on it. Even we've heard about, I'm sure we heard about it in passing somewhere, Instagram or something. But you're the mayor of one of the major cities in the world. I'm sorry, in the country, and you didn't hear about it, or you had no idea. I'm sure. I'm pretty sure you knew. I'm pretty sure you heard, but you was too excited to go out to Ghana. I don't know what you were doing out there, what the trip was for, but that's crazy. Like, one, you're disconnected, and then 2, you're trying to point the blame at somebody when you should be blaming yourself. I'll digress, and I'll come back at the end. But it's still more video. I don't know if you have anything you want to share, or what your thoughts are on that portion of what she said.
No, you can roll the rest. I'll comment afterwards.
investigations underway, one by LA's Fire Commission, another by the Fire Safety Research Institute.
Everything that happened, including that, needs to be examined.
Have you nothing to say today?
When Bass returned from Ghana, she was ambushed by a Sky News reporter from Ireland. She didn't respond to him for several minutes, a clip that's been seen millions of times.
Your position?
Yes, it was an ambush, and I wasn't sure who he was. And that is unfortunate, because I see the way that looks, as though I was avoiding But when you're getting off a plane and you've been on a plane 17 hours and somebody hits you with a camera, I wish in hindsight my response had been better.
This week, the LA Times quoted former fire officials saying that the fire department could have pre-deployed at least 10 additional engines to the Palisades.
Did the city fail the residents of the Palisades?
Well, again, all of that has to be examined with experts.
What does accountability look like to you? And is it time that somebody be fired for this?
Well, again, I mean, I think it's premature to say now, but I do think that we have to examine everything, and that is going to take place very soon.
How do you assess the job performance of the chief of the fire department?
Well, I think that that's something that has to be assessed. I need to understand why things were handled differently this time than they've been handled before.
And why do you think that is?
I'm not sure.
We met up with Mayor Bass at the Impacted Worker and Family Recovery Center, now open in Culver City. It's one of 4 locations for those impacted by the fires.
And it doesn't matter where you live, where you're from, you can come here and get an array of resources, from direct cash assistance to unemployment, job assistance, training.
I asked, what's a realistic timetable for rebuilding the Palisades?
I'll go and stop it right there. Did you have any input?
I mean, when you came to an interview and it just seems like you were prepared to evade, the questions and not really give any concrete answers on the questions that, I'm pretty sure a lot of, citizens in that area, or even LA County, as a whole, want to know. To me, I come away from that clip looking and feeling, just like before, not knowing or understanding, why things changed or happened. It may be over her pay grade, and maybe over her head, and she really can't say. In that position, you can only operate with the information that you have available to you, and it's just unfortunate that in this scenario, it just seems like she doesn't have enough information because she's just not privy to it. When you look at the situation and see the people that had positions, and things that they needed to do to accomplish what was already accomplished before, maybe was not done. Things were probably changed this time around for whatever reason. And then you're saying that you don't know. Well, we've already seen the clips before, how she was saying that they were underprepared. They didn't have the resources. There were budget cuts, Those are some of the questions I believe he should have maybe asked, in terms of, originally what was taking place in terms of interviews. And we still don't have any questions or answers, even to this day. Yeah, you guys are offering resources. Yeah, we're trying to move forward and get beyond. But it's like, you owe the people of LA County, the Palisades, Eaton County, you owe them an explanation better than what you're giving him. I believe so. To me, right now, you're kind of like insulting people's intelligence, not having real information, concrete information to give people to kind of put them at rest in terms of we have the right people in the right positions that's going to allow us to feel safe. Well, I wouldn't feel that way at this point in time because you're not giving, much of that information or give them anything to go on to feel that way. Just
Right.
Looking at it from this point in terms of now what we have on what she's answering in terms of the interviewer, and that's what I have to say.
Yeah, she definitely deflected. I'm kind of finding out a lot, when some of these politicians get in front of the camera, they know how to deflect, with the best of them. And she, another thing that she mentioned is when she was on the plane for 17 hours and, she didn't know who the guy was and she got attacked. It was an attack. Sometimes those are the things that you have to deal with when you're putting in and when you're put in a place of leadership. Sometimes questions are not going to be asked in the most opportune time, and yes, you should have definitely, went about that better. I don't know, what that looks like, on the outside looking in, but it did look bad. It looked like you didn't care. Um, and that's just my opinion. It looked like you didn't care, and at that particular time, I think it would have been a good opportunity for you, even though you were gone, to let the people of LA know that you were with them, that you were thinking about them. Even if you had just said that, that would have made a difference than just ignoring them. And it seemed like you were being cold. And like I said, my opinion. And it seemed like you really weren't concerned. And I could be wrong, but that's the way it came off. And it's we find out later, we had a conversation about this a little earlier, is that they fired, the chief, the fire chief. But will that really help? It won't bring any houses back, but will that help things moving forward? Is it something that, will it give you the opportunity to be prepared next time? Next time, will you take that trip? It may not be to Ghana next time. Maybe, you know what I mean? I don't know, somewhere else. But would you take the opportunity if this was to happen again? I think that's another place where it could have started, getting in, making sure that you were aware what was going on in your city before you left. A leader is not reactive. I mean, some cases they have to be, but being proactive would have been a better situation. Tying up loose ends. How's everything going? Is there anything pressing? And then that's when you may have gotten the answer, to your question, and then made a decision if you decide to leave or not. But you trying to point the finger and blame everybody else for not telling you, when you had all the opportunity to be a leader and find out from the people yourselves. I mean, that's how it works. Like for me, like if I'm going out of town, if I'm taking vacation, and there's something that's loose, there's any loose ends and I need to tie up, or I need some people to take action items, then that's something that I relate to them. And I ask them, is there anything that that's pressing, or anything that we need to handle, or I'll handle that next week. And if it's like, oh, we need to handle it now, then we handle it now. But it doesn't sound like you did that. And it sounds like you're trying to blame other people for not doing your job. And then, the police chief, she's fired now. However, they need to investigate you, and hopefully they are, because you mishandled this, and you don't want to take accountability. He gave you the opportunity, and I know it probably took you by surprise again, right? He said, what does accountability look like? Well, I don't know. We need to look at it. Yeah, we do need to look at it, because the lack of accountability is showing right on your face, and you decide that you don't want to take any. It's everybody else's fault. And then hopefully, with things changing, we get those type of people out of the way. Like it's okay if you say, you know what, I made a mistake and I wasn't here. It's okay if you said, because we all make mistakes, but you sit there and not, take any accountability. It ain't it. It ain't it. Yeah, so that's why I have. Anything else you want to share on that, Cuzzo?
I mean, I definitely agree with what you're saying. A lot of the times, I like to tell people, politicians have publicists, they have speech writers, they have media training, and a lot of times, this is what they're taught to do. Because I'm pretty sure, she's thinking about, when she's running for reelection, I don't want this to fall, back on me and look negatively upon me if I'm trying to, run again, for the same seat or a higher position. People was going to think back to this time to where I, quote unquote, fumbled the bag and, went somewhere else when I should have been here, while this was happening. I didn't put the right people in place for things to happen as they should have happened, as they always have happened. And it just kind of seems like every time there's a disaster, there's never the right things in place where they need to be, they're supposed to be. That's just the thing that's amazing to me. It's not really amazing. I'm just using that term, for entertainment purposes, because we understand, why things don't happen the way they happen, and definitely it comes down to funding. Definitely, money is being diverted and sent other places, and it has nothing to do with giving the American people what they're supposed to have, above and beyond. We get the bare minimum here, unfortunately. So, yeah, I'll close on that.
Yeah, we want to give a shout out to you, Karen Bass, and we want to give you a special thank you. Yeah, you fumbled. Anyway, moving along. I was looking for this looking for the video. I could pull it up on my laptop, but I'll just play the audio. So it's this young lady, she's talking about how people's mindset is. Now I know we have a lot of people that are complaining about what Doge is doing, what Trump is doing, how the state of the United States, how the state of things are in the US. And man, shout out to let me see, let me get my buttons right. No, it's not that. There we go. Shout out to Trump, man. He's officially been in office for 30 days. And I'll just say this before I play the video. Not too long. But we kind of talked about this before as well. It's crazy how people said all of this stuff that he was supposed to do, or trying to hold him accountable for 4 years worth of junk. And he's just finally made 4 months, and he's done more in four weeks than Biden has done in 4 years. But let me go ahead and play the video. I'm gonna shut up.
That recently, since things have been going very, very bad for the and all of the money laundering and everything else you can imagine, whenever this stuff starts happening, they start throwing Black female politicians out in front of our face. Like all of a sudden, I'm seeing an influx of Black female politicians. And this message is for my people. You guys have to understand, this is a game. This is a game. They're using these racial tensions in order to get you to not see what's actually right in front of your face. So that when these Black female politicians with their power and their voice, and my head is bald and I'm strong, I'm a strong Black woman. When you start seeing that, understand they're trying to take your attention away from the actual truth, what's actually going on. They want you to play into the race baiting. They want you to think that the Republican or Trump administration that is coming after the terrible things that have been going on for many, many years, that it has nothing to do with our money, but it has everything to do with race, because he's racist, remember? So when you see him going after and exposing this BS that's been going on, and then you start seeing these Black faces, they're trying to make you think that he's attacking them as Black people. He's attacking the people, that have this front runner, the face of Blackness. But here's something I want you to understand. There's this politician, I forgot her name is Omar. She's the one with the head wrap. Now, she looks like she might be from Africa, South Africa maybe, or Ethiopian or something like that. That woman came into office. Her wealth was at like $65,000 a year. Do you know she's worth over $84 million now? And she was just recently voted out, thank goodness. But see, they have her in the front runner. I am here and I am strong and they can't stop me. It's an act. Don't fall for it. Stop thinking every single thing that Trump is doing is attacking Black people. He's literally getting us our money back. We're literally finding out why we've been so broke and the people up top just been juggling all the money and keeping it away from. That's what's really in front of you. The people that you've been following and voted for, possibly, they've been laundering your money. They've been stealing from you. And just because they throw a few Black women, that's part of the boule. Just because they throw a few Black women in your face does not mean you have to agree with them. They're working for them too. All skin folk, what? Ain't kinfolk.
Yo, she said a mouthful. Man, we see all these people up in arms and upset about all kind of stuff.
Yeah, man. I mean, a lot of times people hear something like that and they'll call her whatever they want to call her, you know. But I just see it as, you know, someone speaking their mind and thinking for themselves and actually looking at what's going on. So if you can kind of really see and understand what an agenda looks like, you can kind of, see what she's talking about. So if you can't and you ignore that, then yeah, you're going to pick apart and kind of divert, and subvert and try to defame, the individual's character, because that's a tactic, and that's the only tactic that you have. You can't refute the information with facts, because facts are true. What can you come against facts with? What can you come against truth with? It's nothing. You don't have a good defense for that. So we want to engage in more of these conversations with people that have these types of mindset, not because I necessarily agree with what she's saying. I agree with a lot what she's saying, but you also get to have more in-depth conversations with people that can actually have a critical thought, process about something, and, kind of have a conversation to where it's not coming from a talking point. You know what I'm saying? It's not coming from, tone deaf politics. It's not coming from, a DEI type of thing. It's not coming from, a racism, type of tone. You know what I mean? So when we can start to put those things away and start to open up and have a real conversation and using what's actually there, based on, the truth, what we can actually see and talk about, then I think, understanding and change can start to happen amongst people that look like us.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of things that have been going on, post election, and maybe I was just oblivious to it. Maybe I just, I didn't see a lot of that stuff happening. But there was a lot of complaining. There's been a lot of complaining and a lot of fear mongering of what this administration is doing, and people are, just making ish up. We kind of talked about this last time, man. Like, my mom told me that Trump was closing all the preschools. I was like, Lord, help the kids. You know what I'm saying? Help the kids. I'm like, nah, man. Like, in all seriousness, people continue to do that stuff because they don't have any other way. Like, they want to play on people's heartstrings. They want to, give you false information, because a lot of times people are not going to do the research themselves. They're just going to believe, this is a credible source. I listen to this person all the time. I believe what they say instead of actually looking for yourself. And so again, like I said at the beginning, we're regular dudes. You know what I mean? Regular people, man. We just, I know my cousin, he digs a little deeper than I do. I get to get better. But I have started to look for understanding for myself. Topic, Target. We had a brief conversation yesterday. Somebody told me they don't shop at Target anymore, and I knew why, but me being me, I just asked why. Why not? Like, why? What happened? And oh yeah, because they're taking all the products off the shelf. And I was like, so what actual products? Oh, I don't know, but all the Black and Hispanic products. Like what? Like, what's the name of them? I'm trying to see. I want to go in there and ask them why they took them off. Oh, well, I don't really know the name of them. I'm like, okay, so what do you know? Like, where did this come from? Like, you can't give me a product, you can't give me a name, you can't give me anything. So how do we know it's true? How can I verify that it's true? You just want me to take your word for it? People lie all the time. Unfortunately, I'm trying to stop the lie, because I want to dive a little deeper and actually do the research, do the legwork, do the footwork for myself, so I could know what the truth is. Now, if I did what the only thing I knew I could really do, because I didn't know of any particular product. So I Googled it. I said, so what products has Target taken off the shelf because of DEI or DEI rollbacks? And it came out because Target hasn't taken products off the shelf yet, but it has rolled back some DEI programs. But somebody told me, and this is as of 2020, that day, 2025. So somebody told me they took products off the shelf. My only resource to know exactly what products they took off the shelf told me they haven't taken anything off the shelf yet. So now I'm conflicted. Now it's like, okay, now can I believe what you say is true? And that's what happens. You get one or two people believing that stuff, and then they tell somebody, and then they get one or two people believing that stuff, and now this thing balloons. So it's just, I think she was just trying to shed light on, like, all the fear mongering, all the complaining that people are doing, because of what Trump did. I mean, she, I'm gonna play a little bit. I'm gonna play it one more time. Let me see. Just from the middle part, so we could hear some of the other stuff she was talking about. Let me see.
Going after and exposing this BS that's been going on, and then you start seeing these Black faces, they're trying to make you think that he's attacking them as Black people. He's attacking the people, that have this front runner, the face of Blackness. But here's something I want you to understand. There's this politician, I forgot her name is Omar.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what I wanted to touch, man. So she, like, that's, I believe that's true. They do try to, in order for them to try to control us, they put somebody that's supposed to be credible in front of us, and they promote this strong Black woman. I'm going to fight against this. However, on the backside, how is it that your net worth is millions and millions of dollars, and you make less than I do a year? How is it your net worth is $84 million and you made less than I do in a year? Tell me the formula. What is it that you're doing behind closed doors? Or maybe you're doing it right in their face. What is it that you're doing, to increase that net worth? You the golden stock in the stock market. You must be option trading out the ass. Like, you must be putting in work. When you're supposed to be voting in stuff, you probably, you study in the stock market. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, tell me. You can make $60,000 a year and your net worth is 84 million. That's crazy. And that's another thing we get to look at and see if that's true. But if that is true, that's crazy. Show me how to do it. Forget teaching me how to Dougie. Show me how to make 84 million. And then I'm gonna be Dougie. And then I'm gonna be Dougie into the bank. Show me how to make 84 million. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Cuz 64, if that's true, 64,000 and your net worth is around 84 million, that's, man. You got anything to say about that?
Yeah, man, that's wild, man. I mean, being a what they call a civil, or public servant. I don't know paid so well. So I don't know if that's donor money. I don't know if that's stocks. I don't know if that's company shares. It has to be something for you to be able to earn that type of money in politics. And then I got to figure out, okay, so if you're making that money, then where is it coming from? It's not just coming from stocks. You're not just putting your little $60,000 in there. It's definitely got to be coming from something else, somewhere else. So I definitely think, man, one day, man, we might want to do a deep dive into some of these politicians, to kind of see how they make their money. Usually you start to make all your money after you get out of office. You got the book deal, you got the book tour, you got interviews and all these types of things, talk shows, that's when you start to make your money, not while you're in office, normally. So yeah, I'm not really too sure about that one, but it definitely needs to be, hardcore stories about this. And I almost can guarantee, there'll be some people, going away for a very long time. So, but yeah, based on what she said and what she addressed, I mean, I believe it to be true. And I think it's a game that they play with us and play on us. And I think Trump knows that, so he did what he did. I think there was another video with a lot of conservative Black people. I think he did an event for them today because that was online trending. And then also, I forgot to mention, he did the whole dedication with the Kobe statue, so he know that Kobe Bryant is really, really popular, amongst, Black people. So he said, okay, if y'all want to do that, I'm going to go ahead and one up y'all and do this. You know what I'm saying? Because, that's going to be received very, very well, amongst these demographic of people, because he was an integral, a very important figure, although he played sports, but a lot of people, loved and respected his game so much, and after he, got out of basketball, he was doing a lot of great things, well on his way to becoming, ambassador status and whatever pretty much he wanted to do. So if people knew that and understood that, then they wouldn't continue to fall for it. But people are so caught up on, having their emotions, in something that they can't really see that, or they can't fathom it, or they can't look at it and say, you know what, I'm gonna sit back and I'm not gonna react to this, because it's something I have to give more thought and more research to kind of see what's really happening. Because like you said, 9 times out of 10, people don't do their research. People are not gonna go and really see, okay, what products got taken off the shelves. I don't know. Well, what are you talking about then? Well, that's what I heard. Well, you heard that, but why are you spewing and saying the same thing over and over and over? It's not helping you. It's only hurting, the potential partnership between maybe these group of people, or, bringing to light these issues or other things because they're focused on something that has nothing to do with nothing because it's not true.
100%. And two things. One, as my camera likes to, there we go. There you go. Zoom back in to me. Anyway, I think as you kind of said that there's a lot of that going on. We hear about numerous the politicians, that are in the not only deca millions but hundreds of millions, which is insane. And we have one in particular, we won't go too deep into it, that once Kash Patel was confirmed, he decided to step down after 40 years. And I saw something on Twitter today, on X today, that said if you want us to investigate some of these people, give us a thumbs up. And I gave him that black thumbs up for sure. Investigate them and see what we find out. It amazes me that people allow people to play with them like that. Like you don't want to know where your money went. You don't want to know where your hard-earned money went. Like, you don't want anybody to look into that. They make us file taxes every year. We gotta go see a tax professional. They gotta break down where we spent this, where we spent that. Oh, you made this, where this went, to see if we don't get a refund or not. A refund on our own money. But you don't want to see where the money that you spend, your hard-earned money, where that's going. Is it going somewhere to benefit us? Is what it is. I don't know. I want to know. I want to find out. I definitely want to know. But I'm gonna play this last clip. It's like a minute long. Because they lied to us, man. They try to say, oh, Trump canceled, Black History Month, but I beg to differ. I could be wrong, but I could just only go off of what I hear and see. Let's see what we got.
Under the executive order I signed last month, this new beautiful outdoor statue park. It's going to be a statue park. It's going to be unbelievable. We're picking the final sites now. It's between various states that want it very badly. We'll honor hundreds of our greatest Americans to ever live, including countless Black Americans, icons. The garden will predominantly feature incredible women like Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks, Billie Holiday, Aretha Franklin, and Coretta Scott King. And I will showcase it will be something very extraordinary. It's going to be we're going to produce some of the most beautiful works of art in the form of a statue for men like Frederick Douglass, Booker T. Washington, Jackie Robinson, what a great athlete that was, Martin Luther King Jr., Muhammad Ali, he was not a bad athlete. What do you think, Muhammad? Not too bad. And the late Kobe Bryant. People love Kobe Bryant. And we're going to save Tiger Woods for another time. That's all that I can. I'm sorry. During Black History Month, we pay tribute to these heroes and to so many others, but not simply because they're Black heroes, but also because they are truly American heroes who inspire all of us, very much so.
Yeah. So why isn't it that you hear people complaining and talking about that? You know what I'm saying? Like, why isn't it that you hear people discussing this? Why don't you hear those same people that are, saying that Trump is bad, Trump is this, we don't like what he's doing, we don't like him looking into our money? Why don't you have those people saying, you know what? he did do something that was that has, you know, that shows he has a little integrity, right? And again, he does, you know, the shift is in the mindset is not just to do it because they're black. He said it, but to do it because they're American heroes. You know, they're all American heroes. That's why he's doing it. But he's showing people that the other people that are complaining are lying. But they only want to show you this. If you don't look into finding alternative sources, you're going to continue to see only the bad stuff. You're going to continue only to see, you know, the stuff that they want you to see, which is going to be negative. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I'm gonna leave you guys with that. I don't know if Cuzzo's still there. I know he's busy around this time, but man, I wanted to say, you know, thank you guys. You know, for the third time, we're just two regular dudes, man, just sharing, you know, what's on our mind and hearts. And for all those new people out there, you know, to help us out, please like, comment, and subscribe. You know, we just, you know, trying to figure this whole YouTube thing out. And the hopes is that we continue to get better. But I do want to say, man, and the Bible says this, and all things get understanding. You know, and so make sure that you don't just take my word for it, his word for it, you know, and somebody else's word for it, but, you know, seek to get understanding and get truth, you know. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah, I don't got nothing else. That was it, man. That was good. You know, I'm pretty sure, you know, the people will find, you know, something negative about it because it's Trump. That's it. What could you say negative about what he just did there? You know, nothing other than it's Trump. So, you know, like Cuzzo said, all things gain understanding, and, you know, figure out how, you know, you can get better at, you know, looking at things from a perspective of, you know, what's positive to take from here, and whatever is positive, that's what I'll use to move forward, you know. So that's it. I'm out here on this loud street now.
It's all good, Cuzzo. We appreciate you, man. Man, be safe out there in them streets. And I'll holler at you later, man. Peace.